Hi, I'm Dr. Michael Bennett, and if you're a man over 60, I want to speak to you from a place of truth and respect, because I know how quietly frustrating it can be when your body doesn't show up the way it used to. In the next few minutes, I'll show you how 8 everyday vegetables could help bring back your energy, your drive, and even your confidence in bed. You might look in the mirror and wonder, where did he go, that man I used to be? You're eating right, you walk a bit, maybe even take your vitamins. But deep down, something feels off. The energy isn't there, the drive has faded, and when it comes to intimacy, you may feel like your body has forgotten how to respond. Now, most men I speak to think this is just aging. It's in my genes, doc, they'll say, or it's too late for me. I made too many bad choices in the past. Maybe you felt that way too, but I want to challenge that belief right now, because after over 30 years of working with men like you, I've discovered a truth that very few doctors are talking about. The real culprit isn't your age. It's not your genetics. It's not even your past. It's your plate. Yes, your dinner plate. The decline in performance that so many men experience in their 60s, 70s, and beyond often comes down to what's missing from your meals. Not what you're doing wrong, but what you're not giving your body enough of. See, your body still wants to work. It hasn't given up, but it needs the right fuel. And most men over 60 are unknowingly starving their erections, their energy, and their sense of vitality every single day, not because they're eating bad food, but because they're missing critical nutrients that support circulation, hormone production, and nerve function. 3 pillars of strong male health. And here's the good news. You don't need to start a restrictive diet. You don't need to swallow a cabinet full of pills. You don't need to chase some exotic superfood from across the globe. The answer is much simpler, and it's probably already sitting in your refrigerator. In this series, I'm going to walk you through 8 everyday vegetables. Yes, vegetables. That can help reignite blood flow, boost natural testosterone, and help you feel more like yourself again, without relying on synthetic fixes or gimmicks. These are foods you've seen 100 times, maybe even eaten now and then, but when used intentionally, they become powerful tools that work with your body's natural rhythms, not against them. You might be wondering, vegetables? Really? I get it. When most men hear the word vegetables, they think boring salads, bland side dishes, or something their doctor told them to eat without ever explaining why. But when I tell you what's inside these foods, and how they support the exact systems that fuel your masculinity, it's going to change the way you look at them forever. We're talking about real results. Stronger blood flow to the places that matter most. More consistent energy throughout the day. And yes, even a healthier morning response when you wake up. This isn't about turning back the clock. It's about giving your body what it needs to keep showing up, with strength, with presence, and with confidence. So here's my invitation to you. Stick with me through this series. I'll explain how each vegetable works, the science behind it, and the stories of real men who made simple changes and felt a profound difference. And more than anything, I want you to know this. You're not broken. You're not done. You're just undernourished in the ways that matter most. So let's fix that. Let's feed your body with purpose. And let's rediscover the man you still are. Ready? Let's begin with the first powerhouse vegetable. And trust me, it's probably already in your fridge. Let's begin where the transformation truly starts, with your blood flow, and the surprising vegetable that can make all the difference: beets. Now I know what you might be thinking. Beets? The deep red root your grandmother used to pickle? The one that stains everything it touches? That's the one. But don't let its humble appearance fool you. Beets are one of the most powerful, natural tools for reigniting male performance. And it all starts with a compound called nitrate. You see, beets are loaded with natural nitrates. When you eat them, your body converts those nitrates into something called nitric oxide, a molecule that relaxes and opens your blood vessels. Think of nitric oxide as the key that unlocks your circulation. It helps your arteries expand, lets blood flow freely, and gets it exactly where it needs to go. And for men over 60, that's especially important because as we age, our natural nitric oxide levels decline. That means blood has a harder time reaching the most vital parts of your body. And when it comes to your erections, it's not about desire, it's about delivery. If the blood can't get there, nothing happens. That's why beets are such a game changer. They don't force your body, they support it. They give your system the raw material it needs to restore what age tries to take away. I'll never forget one of my patients, Alan. He was 68, a retired school principal. He walked into my office, tall and dignified, but there was a quiet sadness in his voice. "Doc," he said, "everything else in my life feels fine. I eat well. I take walks every morning. But down there, it's like something's gone numb. I miss feeling like myself." His words stuck with me because I've heard them from hundreds of men. Men who've done everything right and still feel like a part of their masculinity is slipping away. I told Alan exactly what I'm telling you now. It's not your age. It's your circulation, and beets can help you get that back. I recommended he start small, just half a glass of beet juice, 3 to 4 times a week. You can also roast them, steam them, or toss them into a smoothie with apples or carrots. The point is, consistency over perfection. 6 weeks later, Alan came back, and I could see it before he said a word. His eyes were brighter. He sat straighter. And when he smiled, it wasn't just a polite smile, it was a proud one. "Doc," he said, "I didn't expect much, but I feel like I'm waking up again. I'm sleeping better, walking faster, and the other night, let's just say things went better than they have in a long time." That's the power of food that works with your body. Not against it. No pills. No pressure. Just real nourishment that fuels your natural function. Let's get practical for a second. Beet juice is the fastest way to get the benefits. Just make sure it's 100% juice. No added sugars. Roasted or steamed beets are also excellent, especially when eaten with a bit of healthy fat like olive oil. That helps your body absorb the nutrients. And if you're on medications for blood pressure or blood thinners, talk to your doctor first. Beets are powerful. They deserve respect. You don't need to believe in miracles. You just need to believe in your body's ability to heal when given the right support. Beets aren't fancy. They're not flashy. But inside that dark red root is a natural formula your body understands. One that helps you reclaim strength, blood flow, and presence, one heartbeat at a time. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Because if blood flow is the engine, then testosterone is the fuel. And the next vegetable we're talking about does both. It supports circulation and gives your hormones a natural boost. I'm talking about spinach. Yes, the leafy green you probably pushed around your plate as a kid. But today, I want you to see spinach in a whole new light. Not as a boring side dish, but as a daily act of self-respect. Spinach is packed with magnesium, a mineral most men over 60 are quietly running low on. And that's a problem, because magnesium helps relax blood vessels, improve circulation, and, most importantly, support testosterone production. You see, as we age, testosterone levels naturally dip. It's part of the process. But that dip doesn't have to become a steep drop. Spinach helps slow that decline, giving your body what it needs to keep hormone levels healthy and steady without pills or injections. And there's more. Spinach is also rich in folate, a B vitamin that increases blood flow to the pelvic area, key to strong erections. Low folate has been linked to higher rates of erectile dysfunction, especially in older men. Now, beyond the science, let me share a story. On Hyman. His name was Carl, 72, a widower. He'd recently remarried and came into my office with a quiet smile, but also a heavy heart. "Doc," he said, "I didn't expect to fall in love again at this age. I feel lucky, but I'm scared I won't be enough for her. My body doesn't feel the way it used to." That fear is something I see all the time, but rarely hear said out loud. The fear of not being enough. Not for your partner, not even for yourself, used to. I looked at Carl and said, "You don't need a miracle, you need momentum. Let's start with spinach." He blinked. "Spinach?" "Yeah," I said. "It's not fancy, not fast, but it works. Quietly and consistently. It'll help your blood flow, it'll support your testosterone, and it'll tell your body, I still care." Carl listened. He started simple. Added spinach to his eggs, soups, and smoothies with banana and almond milk. No strict diets. No pressure. Just small, daily signals to his system. 2 months later, Carl came back, and the first thing I noticed was his energy. Not just physical, but emotional. "Doc," he said, "I feel like I've woken up. I'm more present, more confident, and last week, something just worked. No pressure, No awkwardness. Just me. Again. That's the power of spinach. It doesn't shout. It doesn't push. It builds strength. Quietly, from the inside out. Let's break it down. Magnesium supports blood flow and testosterone. Folate increases circulation to the pelvic region. Anti-inflammatory compounds help protect blood vessels and nerves. Iron and vitamin C help deliver oxygen and boost energy. Spinach is like an old friend you forgot you needed. Steady, supportive, always there when you show up. So how do you start? Add a handful to your morning eggs. Toss it into a stir-fry or soup. Blend it into a smoothie with fruit. Keep frozen spinach on hand for quick meals. And remember, this isn't about being perfect, it's about momentum. Just one small step that tells your body, I still want to feel alive. If you've been feeling tired, flat, or disconnected, it's not weakness, it's just a signal. And spinach is one of the simplest, most powerful ways to respond. In the next part, we'll go from leafy to pungent, because the next vegetable may not smell romantic, but it might just bring the spark back into your nights. See you there? Alright, now let's talk about something that might surprise you. It's not leafy, it's not sweet, and it definitely doesn't scream romance. But in my 30 years of working with men, this one humble food has helped more relationships than I can count. Garlic. Yes, garlic. The thing that makes your breath strong and your kitchen smell like Sunday dinner. But behind that pungent aroma is one of the most powerful natural tools for restoring male vitality. Here's why. Garlic contains a compound called allicin. It's what gives garlic its strong smell, and it's also what gives it serious cardiovascular power. Allicin helps relax and widen blood vessels, which improves circulation, especially in the small arteries that supply blood to your penis. And let me be clear, erections are a circulation issue, not just a desire issue. If blood isn't flowing well, no amount of romance or effort will give you the results you want. Garlic is like a natural plumber. It helps clear out your arteries, reduces plaque buildup, and allows blood to move freely without resistance. And those results don't stop at your heart, they go all the way down. Now let me tell you about Ray. He was 74, a retired Navy officer, still walked with discipline, but something was weighing on him. He sat down in my office and said, "Doc, my mind's still sharp, but my body doesn't respond like it used to. I feel like I'm fading, like the man I was is slipping away." I asked him about his diet, his sleep, his stress. Then I said one word that made him laugh. Garlic. He chuckled. "Doc, that's what my mother gave me when I had a cold." Exactly. I explained that his mother was smarter than she realized. Garlic isn't just an immune booster. It's also a testosterone supporter. Studies show garlic may increase levels of luteinizing hormone. That's what tells your body to produce more testosterone. And testosterone is the engine behind male energy, desire, and confidence. So I told Ray, start small. 1 or 2 raw cloves per day. Chop them and let them sit for 10 minutes. That activates the allicin. Then toss it into your dinner. It's simple, natural, and incredibly effective. Why dinner? Because nighttime is when your testosterone gets built, your blood vessels repair, your hormones realign. Garlic helps set the stage for stronger mornings and stronger moments. 6 weeks later, Ray came back, but this time, he smiled before even sitting down. "Doc," he said, "I didn't think it would do much, but I feel alive again. I've got more energy. My wife noticed I've been more affectionate, more present, and let's just say, we've been enjoying our evenings again." That's what I want for every man watching this. Not just better performance, but a return of spark, of dignity, of connection. Garlic isn't a miracle. It's a tool, a natural one. It doesn't replace you. It reminds your body of who you are. Let's go over the basics. Raw garlic is most effective. Chop and let it rest 10 minutes before eating. If raw is too strong, lightly cook it in olive oil. Still powerful. Add it to your dinner to support overnight blood flow and hormone balance. And yes, your breath might be strong, but you'll feel even stronger. If you've been told that performance decline is just part of aging, I'm here to tell you, it doesn't have to be. Your body still knows what to do. You just need to clear away the clutter and fuel it right. Garlic helps do exactly that, from your arteries to your confidence. Now I want to talk to you about something most men overlook. It's not flashy, it's not exotic, and to be honest, you've probably walked past it at the grocery store 100 times without a second thought. Celery, yep, That pale green stalk you probably associate with peanut butter or diet food. But here's the truth. Inside that quiet vegetable lies one of the best-kept secrets for men's hormonal health, especially for those of us over 60. Celery contains two compounds, androstenedione and androstenol, natural plant-based pheromones that may help stimulate the body's own testosterone production. These compounds don't force anything. They simply nudge your hormonal system back toward balance, like a gentle reminder to get back on track. And here's what's fascinating. Studies show that these pheromones can also affect how others perceive your masculinity, your presence, your confidence, even the subtle cues in your scent. But beyond that, celery is rich in vitamin K, which supports healthy blood flow, and apigenin, a natural anti-inflammatory that's been shown in animal studies to boost testosterone production at the source. Let me share a story with you. George was 66, a former high school football coach, quiet, stoic, a man who'd spent most of his life leading others, but now felt like he was trailing behind. "Doc," he said, "I don't wake up ready to move anymore. I feel sluggish. It's affecting everything, especially how I feel as a man." We ran his labs. His testosterone was low, but not dangerously so. Still, he didn't want medication or patches. "I want to try something natural first," he told me. So I said, "Let's start with celery." He raised an eyebrow. "Celery?" I nodded. "Sometimes it's not about doing more. It's about doing something small that matters." So George got to work. He started adding celery to his morning juice, with apple, lemon, and a little ginger. He swapped out chips for celery sticks in the afternoon. Nothing drastic, just simple changes. About 4 weeks in, something shifted. He came into my office, looked me in the eye, and said, "Doc, I've got my mornings back. I wake up alert. My wife says I'm walking taller." Then he smiled. And I think she means more than just posture. That's the beauty of celery. It doesn't shout. It doesn't demand attention. It works quietly, from the inside out, helping your hormones align, your blood flow improve, and your confidence reawaken. Let's break it down. Androstenone and androstenol, plant pheromones linked to hormonal balance and masculine energy. Vitamin K supports blood circulation. Apigenin, anti-inflammatory that boosts testosterone production. High water and fiber content, helps reduce inflammation and support heart health. Celery might seem simple, but simplicity is powerful when it's consistent. So if you've been feeling flat, foggy, or disconnected from your drive, don't overlook the little things. Your comeback doesn't require a complete overhaul. Just the right signal sent consistently. Start with celery. Now before we move on, I want to pause and say this. If these insights are starting to resonate with you, if you're beginning to feel like, yeah, maybe my body isn't done yet, then I'd love for you to hit the subscribe button and tap the notification bell. This channel is dedicated to honest, empowering health advice for men over 60. No gimmicks, no hype, just real stories, real science, and real solutions. So if you want to keep learning how to restore your strength, your energy, and your confidence, go ahead and subscribe now. That way, you won't miss the next chapters in this journey. Because up next, we're going to talk about a vegetable that looks completely ordinary, but has surprising power when it comes to fertility, nerve health, and blood flow. Stick with me. You're just getting warmed up. By now, you've probably realized, nature is far wiser than we give it credit for. And sometimes, the foods we've eaten our whole lives, without a second thought, hold the keys to restoring parts of ourselves we thought were long gone. Let's talk about carrots. I know, carrots might not sound exciting. They're crunchy, sweet, and usually thrown into a salad or served as a side dish. But what most men don't know is that carrots offer a powerful combination of nutrients that support two essential areas of male health: fertility and blood flow. Let me break it down. Carrots are rich in beta-carotene, the compound that gives them their bright orange color. But beta-carotene is more than just a pigment. It's a potent antioxidant. It helps repair damaged cells, reduce oxidative stress, and protect the blood vessels and nerves responsible for sexual function. Think of oxidative stress like rust on your internal wiring. Over time, poor diet, lack of sleep, and aging can wear down the delicate systems that control arousal, sensation, and circulation. Carrots help clean that up. But that's not all. Carrots also contain vitamins A and C, which support vascular health, ensuring that blood can flow freely to the areas that matter most. And they're packed with fiber, which helps regulate blood sugar. That's important because high blood sugar and insulin resistance are major contributors to erectile dysfunction in older men. And perhaps most surprising, carrots have been linked to higher sperm count and improved sperm motility, even in men well into their 60s and 70s. Now you might be thinking, I'm not looking to have more kids, and that's fair. But fertility isn't just about reproduction. It's a marker of how healthy and active your entire reproductive system is, and that's something worth protecting at any age. Let me share a story. Frank was 71, a retired electrician from Michigan. Tough guy. Honest eyes, hands that still look like they could fix anything. But when he came into my office, there was vulnerability in his voice. "Doc," he said, "my wife and we've been together over 40 years. I still love her deeply. We still hold hands. But when it comes to more than that, my body doesn't seem to show up anymore. And that hurts." His voice cracked. And I could tell this wasn't just about sex. It was about identity, about feeling present, connected, and capable. So I told Frank about carrots. Nothing radical. Just start with what you already know. He began eating raw carrots in the afternoon instead of chips. Started roasting them with olive oil and garlic for dinner. Sometimes he juiced them with apples in the morning for a simple, energizing drink. 2 months later, Frank came back. But this time, there was a lightness to him. "Ja? Doc," he said, "we've been close again. Not just emotionally. Something's different. I feel like myself again. Proud. Capable." That's the power of real food. Not in a pill. Not overnight. But day by day, it nourishes the systems that define your masculinity. Let's summarize what carrots give you. Beta-carotene. Powerful antioxidant for repairing blood vessels and nerves. Vitamin A and C. Improve circulation and vascular health. Fiber. Helps control blood sugar and prevent insulin resistance. Fertility support. Improves sperm health and overall reproductive function. If you've been feeling like your body isn't keeping up with your heart, maybe it just needs better tools. Carrots are simple, but they're powerful. And adding them to your routine might just be the easiest way to send your body the message, I still care. I still want to feel alive. In our next video, we'll talk about one final vegetable, one that works best at night while you sleep. It might be the quietest of them all, but for many men, it's the missing link to stronger mornings and deeper rest. So stay with me, because we're about to bring everything together. So far, we've talked a lot about what to eat during the day, foods that boost energy, increase blood flow, and support testosterone. But now, I want to share a secret. Some of the most important restoration happens while you sleep. That's right. Nighttime is when your body does its quiet repair work. Is when testosterone production peaks, blood vessels heal, and your systems reset. So if you're serious about reclaiming your energy, performance, and confidence, what you eat before bed really matters. And that brings us to our next powerhouse, asparagus. Now I'll be honest, mangte isn't exactly a headline vegetable. It's not the most exciting one on your plate. But what it lacks in flash, it makes up for in function, especially for men over 60. Let's break it down. Asparagus is rich in folate, a B vitamin that supports blood flow, nerve function, and helps the body create new healthy cells. It also contains glutathione, one of the most powerful antioxidants in your body's natural detox system, helping repair tissues that have been damaged by age, stress, or inflammation. And most importantly, asparagus is high in vitamin E, a nutrient that plays a vital role in hormone regulation and natural testosterone production. In other words, asparagus is a triple threat. It helps your blood flow, your nerve sensitivity, and your hormonal rhythm, all while you sleep. Let me tell you about Walter. He was 75, a retired accountant. Soft-spoken, reserved. The kind of man who didn't talk much about feelings, especially not in a doctor's office. But one day, After reviewing his labs, I gently mentioned that his testosterone levels had dropped. He nodded, paused, and then said something I'll never forget. "I just want to feel useful again, like I still have something to give." That wasn't just about libido. It was about purpose, presence, intimacy. So I gave him something simple. Start adding steamed asparagus to your dinner. 3 nights a week. Lightly sautéed in olive oil, maybe a pinch of sea salt. Nothing fancy. He looked at me like it was too easy. But sometimes, the simplest things have the biggest effect when they're timed right. Because remember, your body does its hormonal heavy lifting while you sleep. And giving it the right nutrients before bed helps it perform at its best during those vital overnight hours. Walter took it seriously. A few weeks later, he returned. But something was different. His posture, the color in his face, even his tone of voice. "Doc," he said, "I've been sleeping deeper. I wake up feeling ready, not just sexually, but mentally, like my batteries are recharging again." That's exactly what asparagus is built for. Quiet support that works in harmony with your body's natural cycle. So here's how to make it work for you. Steam or sauté asparagus lightly. Don't overcook, or you'll lose the nutrients. Pair it with olive oil or healthy fats to boost nutrient absorption. Eat it with dinner, not breakfast, so it works through the night. And here's one more bonus. Asparagus helps reduce inflammation, which is a silent driver behind everything from low libido to fatigue and poor sleep. If you've been waking up tired, struggling with morning performance, or feeling like your body isn't resetting overnight, this one change might be the beginning of a big shift. Asparagus isn't a quick fix. It's a quiet one, a powerful one. And it just might help restore not only your testosterone, but also your sense of readiness, body, mind, and spirit. And the final part of this journey will bring it all together with one last reflection. Because it's not just about vegetables. It's about identity, confidence, and waking up each day with purpose. So stay with me. Your next chapter starts now. If you've made it this far, I want to speak to you directly. Not as a doctor, not even as a health expert, but as someone who's seen what aging can do to a man's spirit, and more importantly, what the right choices can do to bring it back. You've just learned about 7 vegetables. Not pills, not fads, just real simple food, each one doing something specific for your body, working with your biology, not against it, to help you reclaim something many men think is gone for good. We started with beets, that deep red root that opens your arteries and gets the blood flowing again. Then came spinach, quietly supporting your testosterone, your energy, and your presence as a man. Garlic followed, strong and humble, cleaning out your vessels and reigniting your inner drive. Then celery, subtle but powerful, gently nudging your hormones and helping you walk a little taller. After that, carrots, bright, familiar, but full of antioxidants that restore your reproductive system and your confidence. Then came asparagus, the night warrior, feeding your recovery while you sleep, preparing you for better mornings. Every one of these foods is accessible. They don't require a prescription. They don't come with warnings in small print. They're nature's way of reminding us that healing doesn't always come from a lab. It can come from the ground, the plate, the rhythm of consistent care. But here's what I want you to remember most. This was never just about food. This was about identity, about how it feels to be a man who still has something to give, to be present, alert, loving, not just to others, but to yourself. You see, when your energy dips, when your hormones are out of sync, when you stop recognizing yourself in the mirror, it's not just physical, it's emotional, it's deeply personal. And too often, men suffer in silence. But you don't have to anymore. Because the truth is, your body hasn't given up on you. It's been waiting for the right signals, the right fuel, the right commitment to self-respect. You don't need to do everything at once. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to start. Start with one change. Add beets to your smoothie. Toss spinach into your eggs. Chop up a clove of garlic at dinner. Eat some roasted carrots with your evening meal. Steam some asparagus a few nights a week. Pick one. Pick something. Then do it again tomorrow. And you'll notice, over time, something shifts. You sleep deeper. You think clearer. You stand taller. You feel more like yourself. Because this isn't about going back in time. This is about stepping forward with power. The world still needs your presence. Your partner still needs your touch. And you still deserve to feel strong, needed, and fully alive. So let this be your turning point. Not just because you watched a video, but because something in you stirred. Something that said, "I'm not done yet." If this message spoke to you, if you feel more hopeful, more seen, or more inspired than you did when you started, please give this video a like and hit the subscribe button. Because when you engage, you don't just help yourself, you help other men find their way back too. And if there's a brother, a friend, or a father in your life who needs to hear this, share this video. You never know the impact one small conversation can make. This channel exists for you, and with your support, we can keep building a space where older men feel respected, empowered, and reminded of who they really are. Your journey doesn't end here, it starts here. Let's take the next step, together. Let me ask you something personal, but important. Have you ever had one of those moments where your body just doesn't respond the way it used to? You want to perform. You want to connect, but something feels disconnected, weak, out of sync. If you're nodding right now, I need you to know, it's not all in your head. And it's not just age. There's one group of muscles that most men ignore, but they control far more than we realize. And when you strengthen them, it can change everything. I'm talking about your pelvic floor muscles. Now, if you've never heard that phrase before, don't worry, you're not alone. Most men go their entire lives without even knowing these muscles exist, let alone training them. But women have known about them for decades. In fact, pelvic floor exercises are often part of postpartum recovery or menopause care. So let's reclaim that knowledge for men. Because your pelvic floor controls some of the most intimate parts of your life. Urination, ejaculation, and yes, erection strength. Your pelvic floor is a group of muscles that stretch like a hammock across the bottom of your pelvis. Think of it like your body's internal support system, holding up your bladder, your bowel, and your sexual organs. These muscles contract during arousal and orgasm, and they help maintain firmness during sex. But here's the catch. Just like any other muscle in your body, your pelvic floor can weaken with age, especially if you've been sitting for years, carrying extra weight, or dealing with prostate issues. And when those muscles weaken, here's what often follows. Less control over urination, including those annoying drips after you think you're done. Sluggish or unreliable erections. Reduced intensity of climax. A general feeling of disconnection from that part of your body. The good news? You can rebuild strength and control. Without medication, without surgery, just with simple, consistent exercises. They're called Kegel exercises, named after Dr. Arnold Kegel, who first developed them. And no, you don't have to go to a gym. You don't need equipment. You don't even need to stand up. You can do these sitting at your desk, lying in bed, or even while waiting in traffic. Here's how to start. Identify the muscle. The next time you're urinating, try stopping the stream mid-flow. The muscles you use to do that, that's your pelvic floor. The basic exercise. Once you've located the muscles, try tightening them for 3 to 5 seconds, then relaxing for 5 seconds. That's 1 rep. Start with 10 reps, 2 to 3 times per day. Focus on control, not speed. Don't hold your breath. Don't tighten your abs or glutes. The key is to isolate the pelvic muscles only. Build up gradually. After a few weeks, try holding each contraction for longer, up to 10 seconds, and increase the number of reps as you get stronger. I had a patient, Greg, 67, who came to me after recovering from prostate surgery. He was frustrated. He said, "Doc, I feel like my body's on a delay." He was leaking urine. His erections were weak. He felt embarrassed, even ashamed. We started him on a simple pelvic floor routine. At first, he said he didn't notice much. But by week 5, he came in smiling. "Doc," he said, "I made it through the night without leaking. And last weekend, let's just say, I felt 20 years younger." That's what this is about. Quiet strength. Hidden control. Getting back something you thought was gone. Not with pills, but with intention and consistency. You can start today, right now. While you're watching this, no one will know, but you'll feel it, and over time, so will your partner. In our final part, we'll talk about 2 surprising habits that might be sabotaging your recovery while you sleep, and how to fix them. But before we go there, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment below. Have you ever tried Kegels before? Or is this brand new information for you? Let's keep the conversation open, honest, and empowering. Because you're not alone. And you're not done yet. Let me ask you one last question. When you go to bed at night, do you wear underwear? I know, it sounds like a strange thing for a doctor to ask. But if you're a man over 60 and you've been feeling tired, sluggish, or less connected to your body, what you wear or don't wear to bed might be playing a bigger role than you think. Because sometimes, the smallest changes have the biggest impact. You see, your body has a natural rhythm, especially when it comes to hormone production. And one of the most powerful times for testosterone creation is while you sleep, specifically in the early hours of the morning. That's when your endocrine system gets to work, repairing tissues, regulating metabolism, and producing the hormones that fuel your masculinity. But here's what most men don't know. Excess heat in your groin area at night can actually disrupt that process. Wearing tight underwear or even snug pajamas can raise the temperature of your testicles, and that matters. Because your testicles are designed to stay a few degrees cooler than your core body temperature. That's why they hang outside your body in the first place. When they overheat, even slightly, testosterone production and sperm health can decline. Over time, this contributes to lower energy, reduced morning erections, decreased libido, and slower recovery from physical or sexual activity. Now, I'm not saying you need to throw out your entire wardrobe, but I am saying this. Try sleeping without underwear for 2 weeks. That's it, just 2 weeks. Give your body the space to breathe and cool down naturally. Let your hormones do what they were designed to do, without interference. I had a patient named Walter, 72, a retired mechanic. Tough guy, always wore flannel pajamas year-round. He came in complaining of low energy, no morning wood, and just feeling off. We looked at his diet, his stress levels, his exercise, nothing too concerning. But then I asked about his sleepwear. He raised an eyebrow. "You're telling me my pajamas are the problem?" I smiled and said, "Maybe not the only problem, but they're not helping." He agreed to try it. No underwear, loose shorts, cotton sheets. 2 weeks later, he came back with more color in his face. "Doc," he said, "I didn't expect this. I'm waking up easier. I've got energy again." And my wife noticed something too. That's not magic. That's biology. That's your body finally getting the conditions it needs to thrive. And while we're at it, let's talk about sleep quality. Because poor sleep doesn't just leave you groggy. It reduces your testosterone by up to 15% after just 1 week of sleep deprivation. So if you've been waking up at 3 a.m. to pee, tossing and turning, or waking up without that natural signal of readiness, don't just assume it's your age. Ask yourself, is my room cool enough? Am I wearing breathable fabrics? Is my sleep uninterrupted? Am I giving my body the nighttime support it needs? Because men who protect their sleep, protect their hormones, and men who protect their hormones, protect their vitality. You don't need a supplement for this. You don't need a gadget. You just need to let your body return to what it already knows how to do. Start tonight. No underwear, no pressure, just comfort. Give your body the chance to heal, rebalance, reignite. And if you've made it through all 10 parts of this series, I want to say thank you. Truly, this journey isn't just about reclaiming sexual performance. It's about reclaiming your sense of power, purpose, and pride. You are not defined by your age. You are defined by your willingness to keep showing up for yourself and for the people who love you. So if this message spoke to you, give this video a thumbs up. Hit subscribe if you haven't already, and drop a comment below. What's the first habit you're going to try tonight? You've made it this far. You're not done. You're just getting started.